So, TK Tactical here, and in this video I'm going to go over would I rather own an AR or an AK. So here we have, these are both budget firearms. They're both around $500-600 bucks. This is a Century Arm imported Romanian AK, and this is a Delton DTI AR-15, very budget, very user friendly. This is my plinking gun. This is my everyday shooting gun. It's basically like, you know, trash, if you know what I mean. So this is obviously the AK, clear, safety's on. This is a long stroke gas system, so very simple firearm. You take your dust cover up, pull your recoil spring out. Gotta flip the safety down. And that's the gun. Here's your plunger that pushes your bolt carrier out of lockup. Basically the gases around come to the gas block, come up, push the plunger or the piston, and it forces the bolt out of lockup and cycle a new round. And very simple, very easy to maintain. The firearm itself is quite accurate against the rumors that AKs are inaccurate. We'll get to that later in the video. But with this specific model, it comes with the Picatinny rail on here, but I honestly wouldn't recommend mounting the sight because it wobbles, so you wouldn't maintain zero very well. But just like any other Russian gun sight, you got your combat sight there at the very bottom. It's somewhere between 200 to 300 meters, all the way to 1, 2, 3, all the way out to 10, which is very, very much stretching it for a 7.62 by 3.9. That's like very, very far. So this is the AR-15. This is my poverty pony. It's a $400 base gun. I added a cool slick rattle can paint job. You know when the white claws are hitting a little heavy and you just feel the urge to your guns. It's a short stroke gas system. So basically their gases come up here, hit the gas block, which is right here, go through a tube, and on the bolt carrier group itself, one moment, on the bolt carrier group itself, there's that little recess in the top of it right here, and that's where the gases hit and blow the bolt back. Very simple gun, very reliable. Not as reliable as the AK, but we'll get into our personal opinions here in a minute. There we go. Pretty simple, pretty easy. You got your forward assist right here, so when it does jam up, because the AR will jam, never known an AR not to jam, you press this button and it assists the bolt forward. If you take a gander right here, you got those little grooves. There's basically a plunger that pushes on them to assist it forward. The ergonomics on this gun, I think it only comes in around 8 pounds, or 6 pounds, I'm sorry. Around 8 pounds after you add all your rails and sights and a magazine. But we'll go over the ergonomics of the AK here in a minute. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. So on the AK, they come in around 7 pounds without the magazine. Most of the weight's up here after your trunnion. All this is stamped sheet metal. Basically from here back is just stamped and folded sheet metal. Very cheaply made, very loose tolerance. That's what gives it its reliability. Like, I've owned this gun for a while. I've never once cleaned it, and it's never once malfunctioned on me or not wanted to operate. And it's always, every time I pulled the trigger, the guns always went boom when I wanted it to. It's very, when you shoulder the weapon, very comfortable, except for when the recoil hits. There ain't like on the AK or the AR, you got a good place to put your cheek well on this. If you don't have it sitting right, when it recoils, it just hits your cheekbone enough to just cause a little bit of discomfort. I know it's a minor gripe, but I'm sure some aftermarket furniture right here and right here would do it some justice. But since this being an import from Romania, I want to keep it completely how it is and not bubba the shit out of it, because I respect firearms. And like I showed you earlier, basically you just pull this down, take your safety off, and that's your gun's completely disassembled, ready for cleaning. It's super simple, three parts and it's done. You take this lever, you pull it up, and your gas tube will come out if you ever please. I wouldn't ever get really that serious with it. It's a very simple, very reliable gun. All this is a dust cover to keep shit from going into your gun. You really don't even need it to operate the gun. That's how most people who build and manufacture AKs test them. They take the dust cover off and see if everything's overgassing, which AKs are known to overgas, and that's how they get the reliability, is just from being overgassed, loose tolerances. They never really not want to fire, and they always want to shoot. So we'll go ahead and send some rounds down range. So this is what the AK shoots. It's a 7.62 by 3.9. It's a 308 calibered round. This is a 5.56 by 4.5 or 223. They're very similar. This is what the AR shoots. It's in a 22 caliber bullet. So the bullet itself is 22 compared to 7.62, which is 308. So 22 caliber, 308 caliber. And this is a little more spicy. It goes a lot faster downrange, and it impacts and it dumps all its energy in the first 10 inches of the target that you're trying to stop or oppose, or what you want to call it. This goes through everything and just don't want to really stop. It's big, heavy, and slow, like a semi truck in a car accident, and it don't stop. It keeps going until it runs out of energy. This is like a Ferrari hitting a brick wall. It just goes everywhere, if that makes sense. So we're gonna start off with the AR. We've got some just cluster ammo, some green tips, some regular full metal jackets, just basically if you were to grab and go. Got your ears on. Going hot. Turn the sight on. Gun's clear. Let's go ahead and shoot the AK a little bit. So here's the AK. The AK unfortunately does not have a last round bolt hold open, so it doesn't, you have to constantly rack it each round. After your last round, you put a new magazine. Shooting some cheap Russian steel cased ammo, full metal jacket, cheapest shit I could find. Typical AK owner. Going hot, safety's off. Gun's clear. Let's get a different angle on this. So with the AR, we just got them green tips in there. We'll just mag dump the rest of this just to see how it goes. Gun's hot, ready to go. Gun's clear. Safety's on. Let's do that with the AK. Starting with the AR. Going hot. 3, 2, 1. So now we're shooting some American brass ammo. Going hot. We'll just mag dump for video purposes. Like I said, this is a little bit more recoil. It's knocking my ear pro off. Gun's clear. Magazine's empty. Like I stated earlier, the AK's recoil is much more sufficient. You feel it a bit more. And as you could tell, it was knocking my ear pro off where I had to readjust it sometime. As it's becoming a trend in this channel, we killed the target. Once again, the target's a no more. So let's go ahead and fix that and then shoot another shot for you guys. Test to see how easy it is and how well you can grab a mag and go. So let's go. Tell me when.
You're good.
So we're going to run that same test but with the AK. I unfortunately only have 2 other extra magazines for the AK, but it'll suffice. Going hot. You ready? So, which gun would I rather own? There's pros and cons to each gun. The cons going with the AK are you can't really do too many upgrades, but the pros come in set forth a big step with the actual reliability of this firearm. It doesn't jam. You can shoot beat up, dirty ammo. You can submerge it in water and mud. We've all seen them videos. But the AR platform, you're allowed more attachments that fit your needs, more sight options that you can do. With the AK, you can get the side mount, but if you're just gonna buy a gun from the store that's plug and go, the AR is what you want. If you want bullets on top of bullets accuracy, the AR is where you're gonna be looking. But the AK, set these in the dirt, the AK will always have my heart, just for its rugged reliability and the I don't care, I'm gonna run attitude that comes with the AK. You don't really have to worry about these guns. Most of them, I say most of them, are pretty well blued, so they don't really rust. They're forgiving for whatever you want to put it through. That's why millions of them are still in service on a rifle that was designed in 1947 by Kalashnikov. It's still world renowned. Not much has been changed on the AK, whereas the AR has been went through many variants, and you can definitely tell that the AK, when it was designed, was already a very reliable and unforgiving, or a forgiving weapon. You can do whatever you please to it and it's still going to run. Aftermarket parts go, the AK is a little harder to find good aftermarket parts or actual Russian parts, because they're all being bought up and the surplus is going out. But with the AR, you've got unlimited. I mean, every company will make you whatever you need for the AR. You can build these things for pockets to pennies, and you'll always have a weapon that, yeah, it's more maintenance and less reliable, but you've got the option for really good sights, a nice foregrip to suit your needs that you need. But my overall choice is, if you're going to be a weekend shooter in a plinker or a competition shooting, I would go with the AR, just because the attachments that can be had on it. But if you're just gonna buy a gun for when the shit hits the fan and stockpile ammo, I would always go with the AK for its rugged reliability and its stopping power. It don't care what happens to it, don't care what conditions, it don't care what's going on, it will always fire and run for you. If something breaks or something, you just pull out your mallet and start beating on it until it's back into shape. They're just a very eye-catching gun also. So if I were to only have to choose one weapon, my final choice would be an AK, just because the AR is overused. The AK is reliable, and you can build them with a damn hammer in your garage. As long as you get the trunnion forward pre-made, you can build these. I've seen some pretty ridiculous builds that people have done where some of the rivets up here were missing. That's still very hot. Some of the rivets were missing up here by the trunnion, and they still fired. They're kind of wobbly. They're loose tolerance guns that just don't quit. They never quit. Whereas the AR, I've already had to replace the firing pin on my AR because I shoot just about every other day. As much as I can, I try to blow rounds through it. I've replaced multiple parts on this already, whereas I've owned this for a shorter amount of time, but just about the same amount of rounds, and I haven't cleaned it, whereas I clean this thing religiously, or else it don't want to operate. Which, it could be that it's a cheap gun, it's a cheap firearm, but I feel like most people's budgets nowadays are very low, so I would definitely go with the AK. Thank you. Watch again.